Hi, this is the Shadow number 7. Harold Goes to Washington. Written by Andrew Helfer and art by Marshall Rogers. And so we start in, I'm assuming 1980s, with a sort of nasty kid putting a insect in a microwave. This is Harold, our bad boy protagonist, and I think it's 1980s, but it has a very sort of 1950s sense, style and feel about it. And so you can easily tell that Harold is a troublemaker. But Harold is also a big fan of the Shadow. And Harold also has a upcoming field trip to meet the president, who I think was Ronald Reagan at the time, the 80s. And one of the Shadow's agents, DeWitt, who kind of puts me in mind of Tubbs from Miami Vice, sort of, but he's a teacher at Harold's school, as well as being an agent for the Shadow. And right outside the school, the Shadow's dealing with a drug dealer, but Harold doesn't get to see. He's sort of a picked on kid. He's the antagonist, but he's also sort of a victim. It's a interesting sort of story. And we have a backstory that Harold's father was in World War II, and up in the attic he left a whole bunch of things, including a sort of a Luger, I think, which is the gun that Harold takes on the trip to see the president. So the Shadow, for the most part, is not really in the story, but all of his agents are, and they're babysitting, and it has a few comedy moments in it. Especially with the Twitchwitz character. Twitch. Meanwhile, back home, his mother finds out he's been in the attic and finds out his plans, but she just dies by accident. I don't think it's Harold's fault, but she dies before she reveals the plan to anybody. So it's at the Smithsonian, I think, in Washington, D.C. And we have Ronald Reagan, including the part of his speech talking. And we also have the bodyguards or CIA. Harold's plan is foiled by DeWitt, actually by accident. But Harold runs off into the Smithsonian Museum, which is some sort of museum slash fairground sort of thing. And it's got a little village as well. And so he's hiding out. And that is when the Shadow makes his appearance. Who's actually there because of the other agents. And they're they went off without him, without his permission. And later we have Harold shoots one of the bodyguards, CIA, and it's the reality of the situation comes crashing in on him. And he slips and falls, and the Shadow's just there to gloat, really. Because he didn't really have anything to do with it or much of the story. But he's there to gloat. And then the agents appear, including DeWitt, who's slightly injured, but not badly. And the Shadow's also there to give a poetic type speech. But not all that. Effectual. It didn't really have much to do in this story, even though it's the Shadow. So that was the Shadow #7. Harold Goes to Washington. Quite a powerful story in places with a little bit of humour. I think I would give it a 9 out of 10. So next up we have the Shadow Annual #2, Agents. A very classic looking cover. Thanks for watching. Bye.